Well, good morning, or whatever time of day it is for you. My name is Rose. I'm a Christian. I'm a pilgrim. I walk the narrow road. The Lord is correcting me, and He's trying to deliver me from my foolish ways. I had an experience about 8 years ago. I went to Calvary for a while. And the Lord has shown me much about churches since then, so I don't go to church. The Holy Spirit has got to show you whether you should go to church or not. He asked me to stay out of the churches in this day. I went to Calvary. There was a horse show. The man who directed it, it was magnificent. They went to an awful lot of trouble. They had fences and hay and all kinds of. It looked like a stable in a very lovely area. I mean, they just went to a lot of trouble. Before the show, it rained, so the guy came in and he did a little bit of a sermon. And he seemed to be looking for somebody to target his sermon or his show at. And I sensed it, but I didn't think it was me. But he said things that made me cry. I cry easily anyway. Maybe I don't, but I've been a crier lately. Well, he made me cry, and after that it stopped raining. Went out and did a show. His show was to show Christians how perhaps God trains us in light of how a horse is trained. He showed this horse a magnificent ability. He was able to do all kinds of things. He was a young horse. But there were certain things that he didn't do. And so he trained him. He showed us. He put him in positions that were agonizing. And he kept him there for a long time. The man did direct the show. He turned the horse to me and he turned himself to me and he directed the show to me. And unfortunately, I was flattered. I didn't know at the time what the Lord was doing. But this was one thing in my life. Now, right after this, I went to another city from Tucson. I went to another city and lived for about 7 years. And it was pretty difficult. The Lord just kept creating or allowing situations, showing me how I react to situations, adverse situations in which I didn't think I had to endure. He showed me my attitude towards endurance and towards proper behavior when things are adverse. Stalkings, neighbors that really, want you as best friends, and if not, they punish you. But I got to see my attitude towards these neighbors that, wanted certain things from me. It wasn't Christian. I just felt that I had my rights and they had no right to invade my territory as a resident in the place where I paid rent. So I got to see that. I honestly don't know if I've changed terribly, but I do see my error. And I'm frightened of myself. I'm frightened that I will, rather than demand my rights today, I pull way back, I get quiet, and I'm willing to suffer the slight rather than to make anything of it. But, those of you that are suffering from illnesses, from family situations, from work situations, from money situations, the Lord is just looking for endurance. It looks impossible, and it has to be impossible. It has to be hard, and it has to be painful in order for it to be a decent trial. I mean, without money, it is a trial. Not having things that you want. I am mute, I do not open my mouth, for it is you who have done it. The Lord does it. He shuts our mouth, He opens it. He shows us, remove your stroke from me, I am spent by the hostility of your hand. You know, and although we're in the New Testament, this is Old Testament Psalms. It is true with all of us. He will, his stroke can be difficult. He can also bless. I'm coming out of some of the hardships lately. I've got a court case coming up for some vapors that I experienced. I'm not able to find a lawyer because it's on contingency. So I'm thinking of defending myself, which means I've got to go to the law libraries, and I'm asking God for help on this. I may or may not do it. I don't want to do it, but if the Lord is directing me, I will do it. You consume me like a moth, what is dear to me. You consume like a moth what is dear to me. Whatever is dear to me. Oh my goodness. Not the works of my hands. The Lord allowed my business to just fade away. But I saw myself in business. No, I wasn't enough in prayer. I wasn't enough in putting that money in places where, I should have. Actually, I was not wise at all. And business the business in rehab business is, money, 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 and I don't think it's any different from the other business. But you come across some sharks that will knock you down for nothing. For an honest answer, you will be punished by their company. Sales, you won't get any. The Lord showed me that quickly. But I didn't learn it enough in time to keep my business. I responded honestly. You gotta be quiet. And so I had that experience. But all in all, the desire of the flesh is lack of knowledge. It's lack of understanding. And we can't change the desires of our flesh without God interceding. He's got to come in and slash us. Take it and just take away from us. And the Spirit of the Lord in all this will create a love for God that you hadn't had before. Create a desire for God. I've had a hard time praying in the Bible because of some, very painful situations. I have vapors here. I can't breathe right. I'm in the bathroom, or I try to leave this place. I have to stay here another month. I've been excused from it. My doctor has given me accommodations to get out. So I'm out a couple months early. But I have electricity in my body that you may not understand this. I have electrical chemical reactions, and it's in my body, and I kind of, if I lay down on something, I infect it. It's, I used to think that it was the sheets or it was the mattress, but it's me. My body is a sieve for electricity and for chemicals. It takes it in, and then it's hard to understand. My family does not understand that. They think I'm nuts. So do the doctors. But there are some doctors that understand it and treat me accordingly. And I do have medicine that helps, but very little. Neurontin numbs the nerves. But okay, I think my 10 minutes is up. I hope I have a message worthy of listening to. I do pray that when I make these videos that I say something that will help somebody. Love y'all. And the road is narrow. And at some point, when you're strong enough, the Lord will allow you to face trials that you may not be able to face now. And I say this because Years ago, I didn't have these kinds of things in my life. I gotta go. Love you. Talk to you later.